Hi everyone, I'm Leah Williams and I hope that everyone is having a happy holiday season. I wanted to take a little time and share with you a fun holiday recipe that I enjoy making. If you love delicious sweets, you love things that people will be excited that you prepared, then I think you're going to enjoy this recipe. I call it Christmas Wreath Treats. Let me take you through what you'll need. Start you off with Frosted Flakes cereal. Kids are sure to love this. You're also going to need miniature marshmallows, just a 10.5-ounce bag, all you need there. You'll need a half a cup of butter. Keep an additional stick because you're going to use part of that to grease the wax paper that you'll use. You'll also need a cookie sheet, and then finally, vanilla extract and green food coloring. Just a few simple ingredients, but wait until you see what you're able to make. So let's get started with our Christmas wreath treats. We start with our Frosted Flakes. Now you're going to use 4 cups of the Frosted Flakes cereal. And I like to crunch these up a little bit. What we're making are wreath-shaped treats. So in order to have just the right consistency to your wreath, you want to make sure your flakes are just right. So we're going to take a nice big scoopful. There's 1 cup. Another big scoopful. If you get a few extras, that's okay. There's 2. Another big scoopful. 3. And our final big scoopful, just for good measure. Ooh, nicely rounded there. Few extras. 4. All right, so 4 cups of our Frosted Flakes cereals. Extras, we'll sweep up later. Okay, so now you put them in a plastic bag, whatever plastic bag you have, and all I'm going to do is just kind of crunch them up in there. Just crunch them up, not too fine. You don't want to make Frosted Flakes dust, but you want to make nice sized flakes that'll work perfectly for your Christmas wreath treats. So you just kind of scrunch those around, and they look just about right. Okay, so you're going to set those aside. Now one thing you want to make sure you have ready to go is your cookie sheet, and line it with wax paper. Now if you wanted to use parchment paper, you could do that. A trick with your parchment paper is to take just whatever vegetable spray you like to use and spray it on the parchment. That'll keep your Christmas wreath treats from sticking. What I'll do is take my wax paper. I've already lined my cookie sheet with the wax paper, and I'm going to take my additional stick of butter, and I'm just going to go over the wax paper with my stick of butter. This is so that they taste delicious, but when you're forming the wreaths, they don't stick. Because once they're done, everybody's going to grab for them quickly and want to be able to eat them right away. So just go over your wax paper nice and easily, kind of, cover every area. If you miss a spot or two, that's not so bad. And turn it around. Finish on the other side. This is one of those fun recipes that you can involve your kids with. If you wanted to have them perhaps smash those Frosted Flakes or let them line the cookie sheet with the butter. Fun way to get them involved and get them to enjoy time in the kitchen. I used to really love spending time with my grandmother, who was an exceptional cook. And as a little kid, I didn't realize, she gave me the easy jobs to do, but I thought it was so important. So fun thing to do with your children. Okay, so now we've got our wax paper and we've lined our cookie sheet, and that's set and ready to go. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a half cup of butter. That's a full stick of butter. You can use sweetened butter. That'll be just fine. And we are going to put it into our saucepan. A non-stick saucepan is great because you don't have to worry at all about any of the marshmallows we're going to use in just a moment sticking. All right, and now that we've got our half cup of butter in the saucepan, we're ready to turn on the stove. Now you're going to want to melt your butter at, I would say, a medium-low heat. The reason for that is you don't want to burn it. you burn the butter, you wouldn't think it really has a bad taste, but it does. So medium-low is the best way to go. Put that stick of butter into the saucepan. Again, non-stick saucepan. If you've got Cook's Essentials, you know what a beautiful thing that is. So we're going to let our butter go ahead and start to melt. Let me get myself prepared. Now you're going to use miniature marshmallows. You can buy the 10.5-ounce bag. That will be more than enough. If you want your Christmas wreath treats really sticky and gooey, you can use the whole bag of marshmallows, but really I would say about 4 cups is plenty. So we'll get ourselves going here. We've got just about 1.5. My vanilla is jumping around. It's already ready to go into the pan. We've got, let me do this, easier to pour than to scoop. There's 2. We'll do 3. Now, if you're weight conscious, watching the sugar intake, watching the sweets, only do 3 cups. You can feel better about yourself. As for me, I think I'm going to do 4 cups of the marshmallows today. So we've got 3 ready to go, and we'll put that 4th in as soon as our butter is melted. You can give it a little help if you want. Kind of stir it around the pot. The thing to keep in mind is to keep that heat at a moderate level so that that butter melts perfectly, but it doesn't burn. This is, again, one of those recipes that's fun, that's easy. When you think about holiday time, the last thing you want to do is stress. The last thing you want to have is a lot of pressure. And how many of us have party invitations, get-togethers, cookie swaps? And so this year, or perhaps next season, you'll have an easy, quick, fun-to-prepare recipe. And when people see the finished results, they're really impressed, and you'll know how easy it was to do. So our butter's working there in the pan. It's looking really good. Just kind of melting it away. You want to melt the butter completely because once we add the marshmallows, those will melt pretty quickly too. It is the kind of thing that's so tasty, and I'll tell you the best way to enjoy these, a big, tall, cold glass of milk. Yummy. All right, so our butter is just kind of working away there, working away. We're at about a medium. I'm going to give my butter a little help. Not going to burn it, but just give it a little kick there, get things going. And just kind of stir it around. It's a 1/2 cup of butter. That's a full stick, and that's just melting right away. Holiday time is a great time to spend with family, with friends, and trying new recipes. Our neighbors, my husband and I, every year get together, and it's always nice to bring something you made yourself. People really appreciate that. And you feel good too when you can say, well, I did it myself. And you don't have to be a chef to do it, because certainly I'm no chef. All right, so we're getting down to just a little bit of the butter remaining as a solid. It's almost nearly melted completely. Just kind of working it around the pot. Also nice to use, remember with your Cook's Essentials, if you've got a non-stick Cook's Essentials pan, you can use any utensil inside, but something that won't stick is really good too, because remember we're going to add marshmallow to this. And marshmallow, well, as it should be, is nice and sticky. That's the way we want it. All right, I think my butter's just about melted, just about gone. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take my marshmallows, and let me just show you this too. I'll tilt my pan just slightly forward so you can see that butter is wonderfully liquefied now, but not burning at all. That's what you want to do. That's why you cook it at a medium to low heat, so it will just melt perfectly. So now I'm ready to go with my marshmallows. Remember what I said. I'm not doing the low-fat version, so I'm going to do a full 4 cups. That was 3. Let me do my last cup here. And if you really want to go all out, don't forget, you can use the whole bag of marshmallows if you decide to. I won't tell if you don't. Okay, 4 cups. Now, what you want to do as you're melting your marshmallows is stir them constantly, because they will melt very quickly. But you want to make sure that you stir them constantly so that they melt evenly. You don't want marshmallow lumps in your Christmas wreath cookie treats. So I'm just kind of working that butter around and melting the marshmallows. And it doesn't take a long time. They really do start to come together. Now I'll show you. You can see they're totally coated with the butter. And that's what you want to happen. and you're still at your medium-low heat, the same way you wanted to melt your butter slowly, you want to melt your marshmallows slowly too. So those are just kind of working the butter around. Oh, it's already starting to smell delicious and sweet, like a candy shop. You know, when you walk into a bakery, especially at holiday time, and it just, the aroma of all the sweets and the baked goods just wraps itself around you. I think that's what so many people think about when they think about holiday time. That's the time when everybody kind of likes getting into the kitchen and loves baking and making sweet things. So this fills the room with that wonderful, soft, delicious, sweet aroma. Yummy marshmallows melting. So I'm just going to continue to stir these. Just stir them constantly. You know, if you've got 5 minutes, sing your favorite Christmas song, whatever that might be. I would sing for you, but you'd be reaching for the remote for sure. But whatever you like to do, recite a favorite Christmas poem, go through your favorite Christmas list. You know, take a little time to do whatever you need to while you're making sure that your marshmallows, oh, these are looking good. They're starting to melt, starting to come together. And what it will make, the consistency will be a nice, soft, sort of gooey consistency. And that's exactly what you want, because that's how we're going to coat our Christmas wreaths. All right, so we just work that around. Keep stirring. And you want to keep stirring. The reason I know this is I've made this before, where I just thought I'd throw all the marshmallows into the pot and see what happens. What happens is not a good thing. Then you get just one big, large, flat marshmallow, and that doesn't really work for you either. So stir it constantly. That gives you the consistency. You want a smooth, creamy texture. That's what you're going to be able to work with when we get ready to add our frosted flakes and then finally to form our wreaths. There it is. The butter starts to blend with the marshmallows. Oh, and then we're going to add a little vanilla to this, and that's going to be perfection. Just the finishing touch. Very creamy. I'll show you what's happening. You can see, and you'll see how it all starts to come together. It starts out in each and every one of those marshmallows as individual, but as you start to mix them, they all start to blend together. We are almost there. I told you this was easy. Smells yummy. All right. Now you want to mix until these are completely smooth. In other words, no little marshmallow lumps left in the pot. You want to make sure that all of them have been blended and mixed completely. And so that's why I say stir constantly. And also notice what's happening. Can you see this? None of my marshmallow mixture sticking to my spoon. So good idea to use something that, a utensil that will, that has a nonstick or release surface, so you don't have to worry about that when you're mixing your marshmallow and butter.